What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Man Up here, back for another episode of Man Up TV. Uh, as you saw in the thumbnail or title of this, Houston Texans versus national media. But I kind of want to change it a little bit to Houston sports versus national media. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to start off with the Houston Rockets. And let me get to what I'm saying about the Houston Rockets. As y'all remember last year, when we were, well, last offseason or two off seasons, whatever, when we first acquired Chris Paul, let me put it like that, getting a little tongue twisted. Y'all, everybody heard what the national media said about Chris Paul and James Harden not being able to play together. Oh, they both demand the ball too much. They can't do this. They can't do that. It won't work, and all this other nonsense. That got proven wrong. One game away from going to the NBA Finals. You know, and let's talk about the Houston Astros when they won the World Series a couple of seasons ago. Did anybody was talking? I'm not a big baseball fan. Don't get me wrong. I said this plenty of times. What's going on, H-Ray? Thanks for joining me. Appreciate that. I'm not a big baseball fan. Don't get me wrong. I've said that plenty of times. But when they did win, I admit I was a little bandwagon fan. I was a bandwagon fan. I admit it. uh, I started watching, watching ESPN, Fox Sports, uh, all the sports network. Nothing really, nothing. Now I did see on YouTube. That's YouTube now about the Houston Astros when they're winning. But mostly what I saw was from fans themselves or from the organization themselves. About the Astros. Didn't really see too much. And like I said, I'm not really a big baseball fan, so I can't really say a whole lot on that. But I didn't see too much about the Astros winning the World Series. Now let's go to the Houston Texans. I'm gonna get back to the Rockets, but I want to go to the Houston Texans right now. But before I do go to the Houston Texans, I want y'all to picture this. You're sitting at home and you're watching your TV. You're watching, I don't know, basketball, baseball, whatever sports you in. Now, you got company over. They might not like the same team, so you might do picture in picture on your TV if your TV does that. You might do picture in picture of one game and the other. People ain't tuning in or missing out because you are a real Houston sports fan who deserves more credit than some of these fake people. Like a lot of fans are doing that. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Hey, people do come in and watch it. I just did when I started doing my live stream. I kind of do it early in the morning, or excuse me, not early in the morning, early in the day. So then I know people at work or people, are doing their own thing. So, it's cool. But people do come back later and watch and leave me comments, some people that see me, around my neighborhood, they do talk to me about it and stuff like that. Now, back to what I was saying. You sitting at home, you watching, okay, let's say you're watching your Texans, right? You got the company over watching Texans with you. Texans playing, I don't know, I'm just throwing a team out there. Texans playing the Broncos. Just throwing a team out there. But you got some company over that might be Raiders fans. So if your TV does it, you might do picture in picture. And the Raiders might be, hey, forget Stephen A. Smith. I don't care what he says. But then the Raiders might be playing the Chiefs. I'm just throwing some teams out there. So you do picture in picture on your TV. You're watching the Texans play the Broncos, and your company is watching Raiders and the Chiefs. Now, I'm bringing that up to say this here. They're just two games that's on at one time in your home. Picture this. While you sitting there watching, you focus on the Texans playing, and your company might be focused on the Raiders playing. You tell me how easy it may be for you to just slide your eyes over a little bit and look at what's going on with the Raiders and the Chiefs playing, while you constantly trying to watch Texans and the Broncos. Now picture this. Let's go a little step further. Let's go to a sports bar where you know they got multiple TVs. They got this game playing, that game playing, that game playing, that game playing. They got like 10 games on. You tell me, are you gonna be able to hey Train, you just said it. You're gonna watch one game at a time. You kinda get into my you kinda see what I'm saying. You got all these different games on. You mean to tell me that you're gonna be able to pay attention to each game and what they're doing and saying and fan reaction and play calling and how this play was executed and all that good stuff? You mean to tell me that you're gonna be able to pay attention to that? Just think about it. Now, my point is saying that is saying this. Any given Sunday afternoon, during the regular season, of course, they could be anywhere from 6, 7, 8 games on at one time. That's just the afternoon. That's just the early games on Sunday. Then you know you got the late afternoon games that come on, well 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern, whatever it is. It is like maybe 5 games. Come on then. Now I'm saying all that to say this here. I know y'all wonder where you going with this, or you might know where I'm going with this. How can you pay attention to so many games at one time? I'm saying all that to say this is that the national media cannot pay attention to so many games at one time. They can only go by what people are telling them, what they might actually see on 1 or 2 games, what they somebody might put on social media or whatever. That's the only thing. That's the only way. But you cannot sit here and tell me that these players, excuse me, that the national media, excuse me, not the players, that the national media knows what they're talking about. See, you got Texan fans talking Texan sports. You got Houston sports fans talking Houston sports for a reason. And I think what this is that I heard one person say when I was watching one of Ed Huncho Soft Sports shows. I was watching one, and somebody called in and said, "I could tell you why the national media don't give us no attention." He said, "As a franchise, what have we done?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What have we done? What is he talking about?" Then he come out and say, "They talk about the Steelers because they've been a long-standing franchise. They won Super Bowls. They talk about the Giants. They talk about the Patriots. They talk about all these other teams because they won Super Bowls. Texans really haven't done too much in their history." And I thought about that. I said, that kind of makes sense. It does. But here's the thing. Houston Rockets had a long-standing history, won 2 titles. Now I know that was back in the mid '90s. I know that. But if you want to go by that same logic, let's go by the same logic. Because the national media still talk about the Cowboys, and Cowboys won 2 of their championships in the mid '70s, and the other 3 in the mid '90s. So let's go on with that logic and say this here. Let's go to the Houston Rockets, who won 2 titles before, won championships, but they still do the negative talk on Houston sports. And one thing that I've noticed, and I've said this plenty of times, and other people have said it plenty of times before too, the only time that national media give us any kind of attention, Herschel Walker deserved 3 rings. He made it possible. The only time the national media gives Houston sports any attention if we got to do something outstanding. I mean, not just good, not just great, outstanding. I've noticed that. I've noticed that. I mean, think about it. I sent this to Ed Hunter a couple times. Like when we just got, not just got through, but a couple of weeks ago when we played the Titans. It said it on the screen. I took a picture of my TV and I sent it to Ed Hunter on South Sports. Um, it said that this is Deshaun Watson's first time playing the Titans. And I was like, wait a minute. That ain't true. Didn't last season, before he got hurt, put up like what, 57 points or something like that on the Titans? You know, I'm like, that ain't true. And then I sent him another one to where we were finna go replace somebody, and they had it on there that we were playing a different team. I forget exactly, but I was like, damn, they just gave up on Houston sports. They just gave up. And my point of saying all this is that the national media do not pay attention to every single game, every single play that's going on. It's impossible. That's why I said, let's go back to the sports ball. You know, when you go to Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever your favorite sports bar is, wherever you like to go sometime to watch, watch a game or any kind of sporting events or whatever, you're gonna see at least good 5, 6 TVs. And you mean tell me you can focus and pay attention to every single one of them? Make sure you say they garbage. You mean to tell me that you're gonna be able to focus on every one of those TVs? That's kind of like what it is with the national media. They sit there, they got all these games on. They might say, okay, the score on this one is this. This is the score on this game with this much time. This is the score on this game with this much time. That's about it. Now, what a lot of people might realize, or probably ain't thinking about, or don't realize, I don't know, is that the national media has sports writers in the background. Excuse me, not sports writers. They got analysts and all this stuff. People writing stuff down for them in the background, behind the scenes. They hand them a piece of paper during commercial breaks, before the show starts, all that good stuff for them to talk about. Because if you ever notice when you watch it, they got a desk full of papers, and they're shuffling through those papers as the show goes on. Think about it. So it's impossible. Because that's why I say the national media does not give us any attention. I think that it's kind of like what Ed Hunter said. I'm gonna pick it back off what he said. You got certain markets and certain fan bases that you have to please before you go to. It's not that Houston is a small market. The city of Houston is not a small market at all. But our fan base for the Texans is kind of small. And I get that. Still a relatively new team. Well, the newest team in the league, of course, 2002. You know what I'm saying? That's 16 years. That ain't really much. Now, I said all this here to say this here too. People think that if you've been in the league for a certain amount of time, you should be winning Super Bowls or championship years and all that. And I'm gonna say you're wrong to the national media and whoever else that may think this. For example, let's take the New Orleans Saints. Before that year, they won Super Bowl against the Peyton Manning led Colts. in their history, they had only won two playoff games. And they're what? At that time, I want to say like 40-year history at that time. Somewhere like that. They had brung it up when I watched that Super Bowl. They had brung it up. And that was their first and they only Super Bowl win. Now, let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles, who in their long, long history, they have NFL championships before there were Super Bowls. I was just finna get to that, H Train. You said it before I could. But let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles and their long, long history. Like I said, they won NFL championships before they were called Super Bowls. But last season was their first season ever winning a Super Bowl. So that person that called in, like I said, they made sense. Don't get me wrong, they did. That person that called in and said, "What have we done as a franchise?" Well, you got a bunch of other teams that really haven't done too much as a franchise and getting a lot of attention. Now, what A Strain just typed on there was he typed up the Carolina Panthers, who never won. They've been to two Super Bowls as a franchise and lost both of them. The Arizona Cardinals, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Cleveland Browns. Now, with the Cleveland Browns, this new Cleveland Browns team that came back to the NFL in 1999, I think it was, they haven't done nothing. But the Cleveland Brown of old, that was once, that is now the Baltimore Ravens, that Cleveland Browns, they have won championships. They wouldn't call Super Bowls then. They were called championships. With Jim Brown. So this new Cleveland Browns team, they haven't done anything. And they're getting more attention than the Houston Texans. And they suck as a franchise. This new Cleveland Browns team, that is. Because a couple years ago, they go 1-15. Last year, they go 0-16. And just because this year they got Baker Mayfield, which we beat the Cleveland Browns also too. Now they're in the playoff hunt. They getting some attention as well too. Like, seriously? Wow. Okay. Like I said, we as a franchise, as a city, excuse me, we had to do something amazing to get attention. Oh, look at last year. You know, Chris Paul, James Harden gelling together. One game away from the NBA Finals, we get a little bit of attention. Then they start bringing up a little bit of negative, try to give you one of those backhanded compliments. Oh, they was one hamstring away from possibly going to the NBA Finals and winning it all. Talking about Chris Paul injuring his hamstring. Seriously, you had to put it out like that? Wow. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Uh, they talk bad about the Rockets shooting all them threes last season. Whether you agree or disagree, you know what I'm saying? I have my feelings on that. And I always say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that's exactly what happened to us. Now, with the Houston Rockets again, that kind of gets to my point a little bit, is saying if that caller want to go in that logic, well, the city of Houston does have championship in them. Like I said, the city of Houston. That's how I'm putting it. And I know I'm finna go far left on this, so nobody needs to tell me that. I already know it. Hey, George Foreman, who's from Houston. At that time, I don't know if he still is, but at that time was the oldest to ever win the heavyweight championship. He was 41, I think, 40, something like that. Early 40s. The oldest to ever win the World Heavyweight Championship, excuse me. Then Houston Rockets won two in a row the hard way. First one against a bruising New York Knicks. Everybody wants to say, oh, we got lucky. Then the next year, we beat a high flying, a young Shaq, high flying Penny Hardaway. Oh, okay, that's cool. That age train, that's cool. You know, but we don't get that respect. All people are saying, well, if Jordan was there, y'all wouldn't have won it. That was stupid to say because Jordan was there doing the second one. And we came back halfway through the season or towards the end of the season, whatever it was. Oh, he was rusty. He wasn't rusty putting up 40 against the damn Pacers, 50 against the Knicks. It's like, are you serious? Wow. They, my point in saying all this, let me just go and get to my point. My point in saying all this is this. Look, don't we need to just go and forget about it. The Houston national media is not going to give us the respect that we deserve. If they have not done it yet as a city, they're not going to do it. This city has a long, rich history of winning and championships. And if you don't believe me, as you probably see, I'm wearing this old school Warren Moon jersey. Houston Oilers won a couple of championships. There wasn't Super Bowls, of course. There was NFL championship. Don't believe me? Google it. You'll see. So this city, let's give credit to a few media people who always show us love. There's no, I mean, yeah, you're right about that, A-Train. You're right. There is a few out there that do give us love. There is a few. Golly, the name, it's two of them I know. I can't, name won't come on top of my head. One of them is Nate Burleson. He does give us a little bit of credit. He does. He does give us credit. I cannot think of the other guy's name. But you're right, A-Train. There's a couple of them that do. I mean, it might be a little bit more. Good Morning Football has all year killing me. I think Nate Burleson on Good Morning Football have. The other ones, the other three, Kay Adams and the other two guys, have not. It's Nate Burleson. He has given us some credit. But let me just go and get back to my point here. I think no matter what, we're not going to get the respect that we deserve. So we as fans need to just go ahead and forget about it. We talk about it amongst ourselves. We can watch, certain shows on YouTube or wherever you watch them at to get a little bit of respect. Our local media, of course, gives us, the respect that we deserve. Yeah, Skip Bayless has been bragging just a couple of weeks, but he don't, on a regular basis. See what I'm saying? So you're right about that. But I'm talking about overall. Now, because even when James Harden won the MVP, there were certain people saying, "Oh, he might be the player, the fans' MVP, but he not the players' MVP." Like, are y'all serious? Seriously? How many times have we felt like James Harden got snubbed of the MVP? Hey, see what I'm saying? So, and that's a national media vote. It's not a fans vote. It's not a players vote. National media vote. I wish I could vote, but I can't. Anyway, so my point of saying all that is to just say this here: we as a city is not going to get the respect we deserve. So we as fans need to just go ahead and just say bye bye to the national media when it comes to Houston sports. Now, I'm gonna give one more example. There's always been this topic for the past, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 seasons. Who's the best wide receiver in the game? Of course, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. Those are the four names that always comes up. Everybody say Antonio Brown's number one, and the rest is always up to debate. Not knocking none of those players. None of them. They all good. But this is one thing, maybe two things that, not one thing, that all those quarterbacks, I mean, excuse me, all those receivers have, and that's a quarterback. One solid quarterback throwing them the ball. Whether you think they're good quarterbacks or not, they have chemistry with one quarterback. Hopkins never had that until now. He finally got that full season with one. He's never had that. See what I'm saying? Excuse me. Sorry about that. He's never had that. And the man been still putting up numbers. He's always second and third every year. In excuse me. In all the major categories, receiving categories. Except for that one year we had number 17, Brock Osweiler. But other than that, every year he's been putting up numbers. Now, I'm saying that to say this here. I know y'all remember that crazy catch he had on, I think that was the Dolphins, where he caught the ball one handed and pinned it against the back of his leg and fell to the ground. Everybody was like, whoa. Now, before I get to that one, let's talk about the Odell catch, since that just popped in my head right now. A lot of people not giving Hopkins credit because he did the Odell catch before Odell did the Odell catch. Yeah, he did. He did have an amazing catch last week. Now, go to this season. That catch that I'm referring to, he caught the ball and pinned it between on the back of his leg. That's what started making everybody want to say, "Oh, he is the best receiver in the game." See, he had to do something amazing to get that respect. It wasn't the fact that was he playing with what the 10th different quarterback and he's putting up all them big numbers. It wasn't none of that. It was more the fact that he was always on everybody's voting list as third or fourth best receiver. And we as fans been saying, no, this man pretty damn good. This man catches everything thrown to him. How many drop passes have you seen Hopkins had in his entire career? All Texan fans that watch Hopkins from he first got drafted alongside of Andre Johnson when Matt Schaub throwing him the ball his rookie year to now. How many drop passes have he had? How many times has he acted a fool about anything going on the field? Saying all that to say this here. All those other receivers that's in the conversation had all that. Oh yeah, Julio Jones had something to say, wouldn't sign a contract extension until uh, he got something he wanted, whatever it was. Hopkins didn't. Hopkins sat out one day a couple seasons ago until he got his contract. He sat out one day and came back to practice. Everybody say he held out. I don't think that's no call no holdout, just one day. But whatever, it is what it is. That's a topic for another day. Odell Beckham is known for throwing temper tantrums if he don't get the ball. Has one solid quarterback throwing him the ball. Whether you think Eli Manning is good or not, the man won 2 Super Bowls, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He has 2 rings to back it up. But he has that chemistry with one quarterback. Hopkins been doing this all along. I'm saying all that just to say this, like I just said. Houston sports, we had to do something amazing to get national media attention. So I just came to the conclusion. Don't even worry about it. We'll give our city, the players in this city of all the sports, Astros, Rockets, Texans, Dynamo, whoever, the respect that they deserve. We'll do it as fans. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and forget about what the national media say. Let's go ahead and forget about it. We don't need their attention. We shouldn't care about what they say anymore. If they're not giving us respect ever since when I went way back when, if they're not giving us the respect then, they ain't gonna give it to us now. Think about it. It ain't that the fact that this city haven't done nothing good. This city has done good with the sports franchises. We have, but I just came to the conclusion, and I agree with my boy Huncho on South Sports. I agree with him. If we win the Super Bowl, don't think that they're gonna say, "Oh man, yeah, the city of Houston is great." They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it. 'Cause look what happened when it was our first NBA championship, the Rockets and the Knicks, because O.J. Simpson was on the run. They rather show that than show us playing the game. And because I think it was CBS or ABC, whatever station that was on, I forget what station that was on at the time, because they had a contract to show the game, and they had to show the game, they do a split screen of the game and the O.J. Simpson chase. Now, if that's not disrespect to you, I don't know what is. A lot of crazy stuff goes on in this country while games are being played, while meaningful games are being played, while meaningful sports are being played. It could be tennis, it could be soccer, it can be hockey, it can be whatever. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this city. I mean, excuse me, not in this city, I'm sorry. In this country. And they don't do news breaks for those. Put it like this. I'm not gonna say they don't. Let me take that back. I'm gonna say this here. I have not seen it. In my 41 years on this earth, that was the first time I've ever seen that and haven't seen it since. And that was what, the 93, 94 season? Yeah, when we beat the Knicks. Now, if that's not disrespect to you, I don't know what is. Oh, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in this country, in cities that have sports franchises, and cities that don't have sports franchises, because that was supposed to have happened in California. It was the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks playing in the NBA Finals. But they interrupt the game to show that. So if that ain't disrespect to you, I don't know what is. And just think about it. When have they ever done that since? Yeah, we did lose that particular game, but I'm glad we won the series though to win our first championship. But just think about that though. Just let that ponder in your head a little bit. There's been wildfires going on. There's been all kinds of crazy nonsense. I'm not gonna get into everything because that's another topic. But there's been all kinds of crazy nonsense during sporting events, professional sports, college sports. But tell me, have you seen any of them good day game interrupted? So if that don't open up your eyes a little bit, nothing will. So my point, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. My point in saying all that is this here, and I'm gonna say it again. We as fans need, as of Houston sports, need to just forget about the national media. If they give us some attention, yay, thank you, but don't care anymore. Don't care. Now, me personally, I'm saying that again. Me personally, I'm gonna start watching it just for entertainment. It's not gonna be, oh, they said this, they said that. Well, I never did that anyway. But like, for example, what I mean by entertainment purposes, I forgot it was on ESPN while I was watching. Dang, I forgot which one of those I was watching. But anyway, they said Bill O'Brien. It's only been two coaches in NFL history has more winning seasons in their first 5 seasons than Bill O'Brien. And Bill O'Brien has 4 in his 5 years. There's only been 2 coaches have more winning seasons than Bill O'Brien in their first 5 years of coaching ever. Not coaching one team or that team, no. Their first time coaching ever. And I was like, you know what? That's a good stat. Because Bill O'Brien has 4 years of winning season, 9-7. That's a winning season. Last season when we was what 3-13 or 4-12, what I forgot which one it was, because of all the injuries we had. He still did a damn good job coaching, if you ask me. So stuff like that I might pay attention to, but them actually giving us respect, me personally, I'm not telling nobody else what to do, but me personally, I'm saying this here. I'm done trying to get respect from the national media. We're not going to get it. We're not. Like I said, let that ponder in your head a little bit. Think about it. Just think about it. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I want to say thank y'all for joining me. Thanks for watching. Make sure y'all, I want to see what they say, but don't get mad. I ignore. I see what you're saying now, H-Train. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I want y'all to think about that. Leave me a comment below. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Like I say all the time, it don't even cost you a penny. Matter of fact, it costs you less than a penny because it's free. Just hit that like button. This is your boy Man Up from Man Up Sports TV. I'm Trunk and the Deuce, and I'm outie.